everybody. I'm Rob Rieger, and I'll be your host today. I'm Emily's godfather. Welcome to the world's first ever Emily the Strange virtual panel experience. We'll be meeting with and talking to and hopefully seeing some of your favorite Emily cohorts. Buzz Parker, illustrator. Jessica Gruner, writer. We'll be speaking with Brian Brooks in some form or another. We have a very special guest. Emily herself will be here to answer all your questions. She'll answer your questions. We'll be showing you some behind the scenes artwork that Buzz and I have created and what you've all been waiting for. Along with our friends at Dark Horse, we're producing these animated shorts for China. Animations, yes. Animations are coming and they're cool. So stay tuned for those. While we keep our distance, let's get to your first question.
Will there ever be an Emily the Strange movie or cartoon?
Definitely. In fact, I just finished starring in a cartoon. It was so much fun acting alongside my cartoon co-stars and my cartoon cats.
Hi.
Hey, we got some questions from all you guys. Here's Jessica here with me, co-author of all the novels and a bunch of the comic books, longtime friend and total inspiration for all things Emily. Should we have our masks on?
Oh yeah, I'm totally immune because I have bitter blood. Viruses die within 10 feet of me. Michaela has a question. Who is Emily? Why is she strange? And why do I love her?
Emily's a 13-year-old girl who prefers the color black to most other colors, prefers the company of her 4 black cats, although she's a big fan of all living things, except for often the human species doesn't really jive with her. That itself makes her strange, I would say. I dare you to read one of her books and see for yourself.
Sometimes I think that something terrible probably happened to Emily in her childhood, like her mom put her in a baby beauty contest.
Oh, here's a good question from Karen. Will there be any more novels?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I would love to write some more. This one's from the Dolly Dungeon. Do you still work with Jessica Gruner, who wrote the Emily the Strange novels? Those novels are the most hilarious books I've ever read, pushing both 3 Men in a Boat and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy from the #1 spot. Nice Jerome K. Jerome reference, Dolly Dungeon. That's like a blast from the 1880s right there. Some of the best 1880s humor ever. Awesome book. And who came up with the obscure rock band references and the sly innuendos in those books? I think that's like an even split between Rob and me and Buzz and Brian and pure made up nonsense. I don't remember if all those rock bands were real. Do you remember?
I remember doing some funny logos.
Leftover Liver, not a real band.
Venus Fang Fang with the Van Halen logo.
Oh, that was one of my faves.
Bone Church, that was my favorite.
Bone Church was good. I like Blood Elf.
What was
Blood
the one?
Elf.
Well, yeah, that's a good one.
And the sly innuendos, I mean, I would say, Rob, I don't mean to speak for you, but I would say that sly innuendo is our spirit animal.
I have a question from Facebook from Jazz. She needs a name. Let's name this cat right now.
Earwig.
Earwig's a good one.
Kittypocalypse.
Ooh, I think we're onto something here. Kittypocalypse. Let's go with Kittypocalypse.
Emily. How well behaved were you as a baby and young child? Was it like having a single mom and no father? Also, what happened to him? How well behaved do you think I was as a young child? You fell down.
Well, it's clear you can't stay in your crib.
Even when tied down. Geez, Emily, behave yourself. You know, I like to think of Emily as, even as a toddler, as like really just rebelling with purpose.
There were smaller things back then, just making sure that she had access to the cookie jar. You know, I don't want to hold your hand.
Yeah.
She's
I like to
independent.
think that she finger painted in materials that weren't really appropriate for finger painting.
Ooh.
We don't need to mention them. What was it like growing up with a single mom and no dad?
The mythology of the 13th hour, we have what I consider the Holy Trinity we wrote into that. And so that was Mystery is Emily is LaRue. And that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
There is no dad. Mom was an adopted mom, you know.
They spring from the essence of the earth itself or from the black rock.
Mm-hmm. I've often considered it an immaculate conception.
There's something really appealing and very elegant about that, and a little bit feminist. But there's nothing wrong with having a dad in the picture either.
Right. People have always called me Emily's dad. I've always been here, so I don't understand that question at all.
Okay, then.
Here's a question from Claire. Emily, I admire you because you are tough and stoic. Do you have any words or advice for me to help me stay tough in difficult times?
Times are difficult right now. Be resilient. Focus on our inner strength. Bring out our inner demons to work for us instead of against us.
I like that.
What's Emily's favorite shoe brand?
Looking back at some of our old drawings, I think she was really into clown shoes. Maybe Barnum and Bailey clown shoes. Let's stick with that one.
I love those.
Okay, one last question. This one is from me to you, Rob. Where does strange come from? Why are some people strange?
It's more fun that way. God, being normal takes a lot of effort. Being strange just comes naturally. Try and fit in with everything else going on around you and caring what other people think. It just takes up a lot of energy. A lot of energy that could be put towards creative things.
I just want to say sometimes it's hard to buck the urge to conform because it's a human urge. And I just want to salute all those nonconformists out there who find it in themselves to break free of the crowd and do their thing. It takes inner power.
Keep your mask on. Keep away from people.
Stay away from people. Do like Emily.
Clockwork Book Dragon asks, will there be a new Emily comic series?
No one has told me yet, but I'm rested up and ready for new adventures.
Hey, what's up, Buzz?
Hey, Rob Rieger, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Hey, good to see your clubhouse there with the stovepipe and all.
Oh yeah, I wanted to introduce you to my stovepipe. Stovepipe Rob Stovepipe.
Hey, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. You might not remember me, but you kept me warm one night. Buzz Parker, illustrator, fine artist, one of my best friends of all life. Here he is.
Hey everybody, it's good to be on the panel with the Rob Rieger. There's a lot going on in this panel, so what are we doing right now?
Hey, we're gonna start with a question, Buzz. How about that?
Sounds good.
We got one that comes here from Zombies Support Center, and it's for Emily, but I think we're gonna have to field this one. Which celebrity interview comic collab was your favorite and why?
I thought Marilyn Manson's was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good meeting and write up with you guys. And then when I got the script, it just, a lot of the scenes were just there. And I think he's really, he's iconic looking. He's easy to draw in a way. He's kind of makeup guy. But that look kind of fit with Emily really well. So
Right.
Zombie Support Center, I think it was MM. There's other ones like Gerard Way and I guess Karen O and those folks, but Marilyn's went out smooth. And of course, always under deadlines, man. Smooth is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you nailed it with that, like, 2 eyes he has. That was good. Hey, Buzz, we got one more question here from Kristen. Same topic. Longtime fan of Emily. I love the guest appearances in the comic. Who would be a dream guest for an upcoming comic?
Dream guest. I think I love the movies and I love the stories. It'd probably be Tim Burton, but better yet, I think it may be Tim Burton writing as a character, having an adventure with Emily, like maybe Corpse Bride, or maybe Corpse Bride and a few of those characters having a mini variation adventure. That kind of, the imagery and everything with Burton stuff has always been a huge influence, and I think that would be like a great way to get right to like some great scenes. That would be a really fun thing to draw.
Now you're talking. I love it. Whoa, wildlife. A couple months ago, me and Buzz had about 100 pieces hanging in a gallery in Tokyo.
Yeah, Vanilla Gallery did a really good job hanging our show and putting up things that we don't really ever see, the inks on walls and drawings and frames, and
lots of original stuff, like from the early books, framed up. No one's ever seen that stuff. There's the catalog. I think this is our first published catalog from an art show. Kitty Apocalypse seems to be a theme.
Yeah, really great color. This came out really well.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Some paintings you guys probably haven't seen. Up there, my tribute to Hokusai. That was great to show the original in Tokyo. Makes sense.
Hey, there's the cover of All Things Strange, our New York Times bestseller, graphic novels.
Elvira.
Yeah, there's a lot of inks no one really gets to see, and sometimes they're incomplete, or you can just zoom in on the black and white and see things that may not have made it in the comic.
Yeah. That was Manson.
Yeah, that's a cover and a crucial interior last page piece.
Credits.
So this is Best Friends, a recent ink I did of Emily and her kitty crew. So yeah, I'll just kind of go through it. So I'll start with pencils and just kind of get the basic shapes in, and make sure I got all my key shapes, my head shapes, eyes, Emily face. I want to make sure she looks pretty good right up front before I, wobbly Emily face or cross-eyed Emily or something. But then I'll get right to the inks and, start with my fills and, going at it. She's pretty simple, black and white, but I'd like to make the most of the black fills and just kind of detail out and, zone out a little bit and just kind of make it a little more intricate. I go through a number of different ink pens. There's some cool fills, just kind of going at it pretty quick. I'll leave all those pencils in there on all my one-off inks, but when I do the comics and stuff, we have to erase all that so we can get a good scan. But all the originals and one-offs are definitely just kind of a mix of pencil and ink. Yeah, kind of getting right in on the eyes and stuff and making sure they pop off pretty good. And line weights, you can kind of see her on the edge, gets a little thick, a little thin, and details, and you can kind of see that radial now, how it's pulling off from the center of her. Oh, the tail's fun. That's always cool to do a little scrappy ringtail. And just pulling all my details in here and just whipping through it. So, yeah, that's the inks for Emily's Best Friend, and pretty cool little piece.
Here's some sketches that I start with, a rough, then a pencil. I stretch some watercolor paper onto a box, let it dry, and then I can attach the pencil sketch to the back and affix it over a light table so I can go straight to painting without having to do key lines on the watercolor paper. I noticed that I soaked the paper too long because I was doing a documentary and it ate up some of the sizing in the paper, so my typical flowy, fuzzy watercolor look doesn't come out on this one. So I painted a number of grays, kind of building up to the blacks, and eventually I decided to varnish it, so I'd start going in with acrylic. I think I'm doing acrylic now. Nope, not yet. That was gouache, I guess, for the white. And then the details come in. Here's the acrylic. I noticed that it was a cool white, though, so it made the grays slightly blue tinted. So I went in at the very end with a slightly yellow, reddish, clear to warm up all those light grays. Really, it's the eyes. Doing the eyes make it all come to life. That's my favorite part. It takes 2 passes, the whites, then the blacks final. Like that. So this was my workup for what I call Crazy Cat Lady. Are you one of those crazy cat ladies? She is. A question for Emily. How do you feel about people getting tattoos of Emily the Strange illustrations?
I'm honored, and I promise never to get a tattoo because then everyone would have to add my tattoo to their tattoo of me.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good. This is Matt Wills. He's the creative director for Dark Horse in Greater China.
How you doing, everybody?
We've been working on a bunch of stuff with Emily, and we have a question here coming from Kissin13. Any new projects in the near future? And I thought of you and all the cool stuff we're working on.
We've got a whole animation series of Emily coming up that we're producing at the moment. We've already done a couple of episodes that we're pretty happy with, and there will be more to come in future.
这些花盆可真是毫无特色，就没有更好的了吗？
这个的。
那个好像不错，老板，给我那个。
哦，好。哦，小姑娘，这个花盆是破的。
给。梦露、莫奈、尼采、塞巴斯，准备出发。
我们要去做什么，艾米丽？
我要做个打破无聊的实验。
哦，我喜欢出门。
塞巴斯，走吧。
退后，老兄。
这里看起来不错，够黑暗也够安全。
艾米丽，我猜你需要这个。
没错。谢了，尼采。
孩子，你不能这么种花，植物是需要阳光的。
还有水。
哎，你看。哎，你这是在浪费时间。是啊。
让我一个人待会儿。艾米丽，它一定会是朵美丽的花。是的，梦露，就像你一样。
做梦了，干点正经事儿吧。
去。给我下来！你踩，抓住他！相机，我呢？
这不公平！
别白费力气了，
小鬼，不听老人言，吃亏在眼前。
你这花一辈子都不会长大的。
我从未想过要长大。你们看，我的花早就开了。这就是一种反抗。
What is it that Emily's even saying in these things? I don't understand a word that's going on.
下午好，最物美价廉的家庭护理用品了解一下。
不需要。
哎，小妹妹，我还没介绍完呢。你们这些讨厌的小东西，去！
艾米丽，你来的正好。真是个古怪的女孩。
走开！我的生活不能被这些没意义的琐事搅乱。有了。伙计们，她是 AI 米莉，今后会代替我处理部分日常琐事。米莉，没错，就叫你米莉吧，我是你的主人。
这是我们卖的最好的餐洗净，这是超强去污洗衣液，还有这个居家必备，绝对物超。
你好，但是东西不需要。
谢谢您的认可，这还是第一次有人听完我的产品介绍。再见。
主人，休息一下，吃点东西吧。米莉，我不是把你关机了吗？除了您之前安排的工作，我还浇了花，撸过了猫。说真的，它们状态都不是很好。怎么了？对它们来说，您的关心比什么都重要。既然莫奈已经把你变成更酷的人了，那你就留下来吧。从今天起，我们就是朋友了。
I have no idea what they're saying.
It's definitely still Emily. She's still being her. It's probably just the first time anybody's heard her speak in Chinese before, or the cats.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's pretty cool. This is a animated storyboard for another episode that's loosely based on one of our mini comics from the Dark issue, where Emily plays God and creates herself in her own image. Here they are setting up a science experiment kit. They've just placed Emily. In a terrarium. And accidentally here, a second Emily-ish character was created, but the opposite. So you have the good one and the bad one, and it's maybe up to you to decide who's who. But certainly one of them is enjoying the bright light sun and one of them isn't. So as Emily always does, she takes matters into her hands and sets out to extinguish that pesky light, which surprises the real Emily and gives her a good idea. She decides to take out the sun itself. You guys aren't just doing animations, you guys are making lots of cool things, lots of cool Emily products.
Yeah, so we're planning on launching our e-commerce site here in a couple of months, I hope. And me and the design team have been creating all sorts of Emily and Emily products, which I think are pretty cool. I hope you guys like them too.
Hey, Matt. It's great to see you. We should be talking more often.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And how do I say thank you?
谢谢.
谢谢?
Like share. 谢谢.
谢谢.
谢谢. Yeah.
谢谢. All right.
欢迎, you're welcome here anytime.
And how do I say thank you?
谢谢.
Here's a question from Wikush. Is Emily friends with Hellboy? Here's a question from Evil Furby about Emily being a feminist icon and inspiring her to be wild. How do you feel about that, Emily?
I'm seriously really thrilled to hear I was there for you when you needed me.
Whoa.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Hey.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Yeah. Likewise.
Wow.
Huh.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Brian. Brian Brooks, right here. He was the art director in the Emily Strange art department for many, many years, a long time ago. And he's back designing some stuff and helping us out with the Instagram team.
Right.
Yeah, we're staying safe. So there's one thing that's really brought us here together, Brian, and it's not just Emily. It's this question from Dylan.
From Dylan?
Yeah.
This is news to me. I'm very excited to hear this. Oh my gosh. Wow.
He says, what do you think of the coronavirus?
That's a good question. I would think, what do I think about it? What do you think about a storm? Or what do you think about a thing? So I don't know. I think I'll think about that. So that's, you take a walk and then you get back to work.
Ah, I see. That's how you do it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know what else there is to do. Oh, it was the one about getting lost in your own mind or whatever. You know, I think a lot of us are now experiencing the Emily. She'll keep going. We'll keep going, even if times are strange and things are lost. So through that, we can let her show us how to stay solid.
All right, good advice for everybody out there.
Right.
Does your bandana stink as much as mine does?
Probably not.
Yes, it does.
That's a good question. Darn it.
Well, hey, I want to tell everybody how rad this guy is. But Brian Brooks here has been a part of Emily from the beginning and has been a huge inspiration and a huge part of its development. He's got a wacky mind that is very akin to all of ours, and his sense of humor and what he brings to Emily the Strange is certainly that strange.
Thank you for saying those things.
Brian, can you tell us what we're about to look at?
Well, I don't want to say too much, okay?
Hi, my name is Brian. These are the tools of my trade, a computer and Illustrator software. Open a file. These are the palettes I use to create artwork. I find it best to use key commands for maximum efficiency. These are some examples of what my Emily the Strange artwork used to look like. Can you imagine? Last year I started designing again after a little brief hiatus
of 15 years.
And now I am creating new designs that we are putting up on the internet, and they are taking the world over by storm.
This is what I look like without my mask.
Unlike Emily the Strange.
I like to change.
Brian,
yes.
Thank you for showing part of your face and staying healthy and helping out with all that you do and bringing the strange, man.
Oh, my pleasure.
Valerie asks, Emily, will you ever grow up?
No.
Remember from the comic books that Emily had amazing music tastes. So here's my question for Emily. What are some Emily the Strange approved albums?
Angela asks, is Emily a vegetarian?
Yeah, I am a vegetarian. Or am I?
Louisa asks, will there be more Emily the Strange merchandise coming?
Yeah. They are busy duplicating me on all kinds of things. So if your favorite t-shirt of me is falling apart, you're in luck. Thank you, everyone, for your questions.
Well put, Emily. And thank you very much for showing up. I know how hard it is to get out of the house. I hope you enjoyed your first and maybe only ever Emily the Strange virtual panel experience. Hey, look who came to say goodbye. Stay strange.